Do you generally treat BCs as reversals, opportunities, or return to neutrals? I like to use them more so as a reversal on defense, but
inexplicable.
I think it's very contextual, right? But yeah, like I think BC is like, to me, Brave Counter is, it depends a lot on the character you're playing and the matchup you're playing, right? I think Ladiva in many cases is one of those characters that can afford to use her BC pretty aggressively, just because, you know, if you look at BC as an opportunity, there are cases where one opportunity is really all Ladiva might need to completely snowball the round into victory, right? She's very much a one-chance character. If you have, you know, if you're back in the day, and I still kind of have this habit, I use Ladiva's BC a lot on defense, because back in the day, you know, Ladiva did not have very good defense. With the 5-frame SPD and the 2 U buffs, and like, you know, her defense is still, it's high risk, but her defense is pretty good now, right? But yeah, if you have bad defense, right, or if you don't have a meterless reversal, then you can certainly use Brave Counter to sort of supplement that, right? Supplement a good reversal. It is, even if you do have a meterless reversal, it is still the best reversal you have, right? Safe on block, can get you like a straight up hard knockdown side swap situation. A big thing as well for using back in my day, yeah, let's get you home, Grandpa. Also, Nier was top 1, I get it. Amazing lore, much thanks. Everything's computer. One other thing I think that people don't talk about as often, though I think it's sort of like an unwritten, like understood thing amongst a lot of like more high-level intermediate, low-level master and up players, is that one of the really nice things about hard knockdown Brave Counter in particular, like if I set counter hit on here all the time, right? Hard knockdown counter hit Brave Counter gives you counter hit Brave Counter gives you this hard knockdown, right? But it does launch the opponent pretty far away. Not everybody can do this, but some characters, depending on the move speed of your character and your jump arc, some characters can get a side swap. You can get like a side swap off of this, right? Ladiva cannot. She just is not fast enough, right? I mean, like, I guess maybe like the best thing she could try to do is like lariat past you. Actually, is this isn't real, is it? No, because she can't cross up, yeah. Like, you know, Ladiva is not fast enough to do this, but certainly some characters are. I mean, a really easy example probably. He can do this for sure. You don't have to be this fast though. Like everyone can do this, right? But like, you know, Seox, I think, can pretty easily just run forward a bit and jump, and even, yeah, he's like safe. He can be safe, or even I think in some cases if you super jump, you can be like plus. I don't know the actual timing on this because my character can't do this. But, like, Seox can basically side swap you out of the corner while either keeping it still his turn. I think it's either he can safe jump here if he has a cross up button, is what it is, right? Like at -5, like even this -5, -4 that I'm getting, he uses his cross up button, right? Yeah, -5, you can't DP on wake up, and while he's coming down, he can use his cross up button, right? And then if you don't do anything, he blocks it, you block it, and he's plus. And if you DP him, then he can land in time to block and he can safe jab it, right? So there's a lot of characters that can do this. And for those characters, using BC on defense is... Let me actually try to get Galleon to DP on wake up here and show you what I mean. I'm bad at this because Ladiva doesn't do this, so I don't really have a practiced time. Ladiva cannot do this, right? So I don't have like a practiced timing on this. Is it? Which one is it? It's the Bedrock Blast? Is that what it's called? Bedrock Blast? Because Will of the Earth with the Fists, I think it is Bedrock Blast. You Bedrock Blast? Is that what she's doing on Wake Up now? Yeah, okay. So I think... bonk. Right? Yeah, oh! Wait. It's doable, hold on. I'm bad at the timing, but it is very doable. To get the cross up, and to still get the safe jump, right? Yeah, like that. See, I got it. There you go. Yeah, right? You get the cross up, and if they DP, you get the safe jump. So it's a safe jump. It's a safe jump cross up is what it is, basically, right? They can't DP on wake up, and if they don't DP on wake up, then you get the side swap, and you can still be plus, and you can make it your turn, right? And if they don't have enough time to DP you, they definitely don't have enough time to 2H you, right? Is that true regardless of DP speed? All UDPs are 8 frames. The fastest reversals in the video game are all 8 frames. There is no exception to this rule, right? There are varying speeds among, okay. With the exception of Vasaraga's U-grab and Ladiva's U-headbutt, I think that's it. All, like, DPs that are not parries and stuff like that, right? Parries will beat safe jumps always, like stuff like this will always beat a safe jump. But, like, all DP-style moves like this, where it's like a Shoryuken, right? They're all 8 frames for U-skills. So... as long as, like, what I was looking at when I was like, oh, yeah, look, it's a safe jump. Before I even did it, I knew it was a safe jump, because what I was looking at was how minus Seox was after I did the super jump. -4, right? This means that I land, and I have 4 frames until I can block after you wake up. The fastest invincible thing you can do here is DP, which is 8, right? So I saw that, and I go, oh yeah, it's a safe jump, right? Like, I knew it was a safe jump, but I wanted to actually do it myself, because I don't do it very often. So like, oh yeah, it's a safe jump, because he's less minus than the startup of the DP. Now, you might be like, he's still minus, right? Can't I just mash on wake up? Can't I just throw him? Can't I just take my turn back? The reason you can't do that is because that's assuming he does nothing until he lands. Even that's still a safe jump, right? But what he can do is he can do this, right? Which is going to hit you way before he lands. So it's going to frame trap you if you mash, and he's still going to be like -5 when he hits the ground. So if you DP, his like JM is going to whiff through you, but he's going to still land in time to block your DP, because hitting a normal in this game does not really affect your ability to block on landing, unlike, for example, in Street Fighter 6, where in Street Fighter 6, if you empty jump versus doing a jump with a normal, if you do a jump with a normal, you have 3 more frames of recovery after you land where you can't block, right? Not a thing in Granblue. So it enables him to do things like this, where, you know, now, if Galleon mashes on wake up, we can set her to do that, right? If we set her to mash, like, her close L, trying to anti-air with a close L, right? Because 2H is obviously way too slow. Oh, not crouching L, sorry, close L. Right, if she tries to anti-air with, like, a close L while I'm in her face like this, right, she gets counter hits. She dies. And if she DPs, she dies, right? You don't realize how many specialized terminologies there is in fighting games until you try to teach someone new? Yeah, there's a lot of jargon, which is why you gotta give it to them a little bit at a time when it comes up and when it's meaningful. Explain what it is first, and then put the name to it, right? A safe jump, for example, I wouldn't say like, oh, you get a safe jump there. I would do it like this, where I'm like, I can jump and land in time that even if they DP on wake up, I can block it, right? So I can keep offense going while not worrying about them DPing on wake up, right? Hi, Break Alzacilius, GG's, man. But yeah, so the whole point of this whole tangent is that if you are a character that can do this, and you don't have to be as fast as Seox to do this, right? Like, I think even, like, you know, Belial's not the fastest guy in the world. I'm pretty sure he can do this too. Let me double check. But if you're a character that can do this, then Brave counter on defense, and specifically making sure saving it for a counter hit situation, can be very, very valuable for you, right? And this kind of becomes the best use of your Brave counter, right? Let me have her not do anything here and just see how little minus I can get on Belial here. -7 still works, right? -7 still works as long as it's less than -8, right? Belial can probably do better too, right? And Belial has a very good cross-up button in JM as well, so same thing, right? She can't DP on wake up. See, that time, that's not good enough. I fucked up there. But yeah, Belial can do it too. Certainly, Seox has the most leeway because of how fast he is. But like, if you practice this on Belial, -7, right? You can get this probably consistently. He can probably do even a little better. I'm not sure, right? He can probably do even a little better. Looks like Super Jump is probably better for him because of his dash speed, but Yuel probably has the easiest version of this. Yeah, like, it's not just Seox. A lot of characters can do this. I imagine Lance can, probably. If you're fast, if you have fast dash speed and a low jump arc, you can do it. You can do pretty well. Charlotte can probably do this quite easily, actually. But yeah, so if you are a character that can do this, because not everyone can, right? A very obvious example, Ladiva can't. I can tell you that for free. But like someone who obviously can't, right, is like Vasaraga. Vasaraga cannot do this. He's so slow, right? There's no world. Look at that. Like, I can't even like get off the fucking landing pad before she gets up, man, right? Like Vasaraga, it's like pitiful if he tries to even like he can't cross up. He can't even get to her before she gets up, right? Obviously, what Vasaraga is meant to do off a counter hits hard knockdown, though, you know, there's intentional design in the video game. This is still good for Vasaraga. What he does instead is he does this, and then he's +14, right? So like that's, but the point is that Vasaraga cannot get the side swap off that counter hit Brave counter, but he still gets a lot of value off it potentially, right? He still gets to get his Soul Forge, and then he's plus. He can do stuff like this, maybe chase you down, right? So he still gets a lot of value off these hard knockdown Brave counters. So what I want to say is, if there is intentional design, some creationist ass shit, no, it's just more so I feel like people don't realize that, like, you know, for example, there's a reason that Vasaraga's back throw, have you noticed that shit is more plus than almost any other back throw in the video game? Why is Vasaraga's back throw +53 when every other back throw in the game basically is +44, right? I think Galleon's is also +44, +43, right? Everyone else in the video game gets a safe jump off of their back throw, right? Everyone else gets a safe jump off of their back throw. It's really awkward for Vasaraga to try and safe jump off of his back throw, right? Because his jump arc is too long, so he's gonna whiff through you, and he doesn't really have an easy button to frame kill with. He's not plus enough to frame kill into safe jump, and he can't safe jump normally, right? Because his jump arc is, I believe, pretty standard. Yeah, 46, right? So he's 2+. Obviously, the reason this is the case is because they want Vasaraga to do this and still be plus 13, right? Whereas, if Vasaraga had a plus 43 back throw like everyone else, he'd be plus 3 on Wake Up here, and it would limit his media options significantly, right? So when I say intentional design, I'm saying, like, you know, like, these little things, like but you can go even, like, super deep into this too, right? We had a whole little lab session where we discovered close L's in this video game have 1 frame after the close L's where you cannot block. You can roll, you can spot dodge, you can do anything, but you cannot block 1 frame after your close L's done recovering, and the explicit purpose of it is to make safe jabbing medium DPs, like, quite difficult for most of the cast, unless your name is Versuja, in which case she doesn't suffer this problem, because otherwise it will be impossible for her to safe jab MDPs, and unless your name is Fairy and Matera, because they already have 2 extra frames of recovery on their close L compared to the rest of the video game. So again, if they had that 1 extra frame where they couldn't block after close L, which is just invisible, it's not, like, written anywhere in the frame data, they also couldn't even safe jab, like, HDPs if they did that, right? So there's a lot of, like, little, very specifically created things under the hood that you don't even realize would exist or happen that are affecting the way the game works until you, like, really get down to the nitty-gritty of it, right? So it's a very cool design thing. But I keep getting distracted, right? Couldn't he also charge his normals after back throw too? Yeah, I mean, you know, he certainly could. Though it's honestly a little 2+ for him, right? Like, if he has Soul Forge up, he can meet you with a close H is what he can do, right? This is the big thing, I think, is they want him to do Soul Forge, close H, and have it be a meaty. And I mean, if you have the gall to mash on Vasaraga and he does that to you, I have horrible news about the future of you and your family, right? You are not going to survive past the winter, right? But yeah, so what I wanted to point out that I've been on this sort of rant about, this little tangent about, is that one of the big things in figuring out how to use your Brave points and when to use your Brave points is, does my character get an incredibly high, like disproportionately high reward off of a counter hit Brave counter? Obviously, for everyone, counter hit Brave counter is better than regular Brave counter, right? It's a hard knockdown, it's plus 54. Hello, Greg. It's plus 54, right? It's hard knockdown. It's better than the non-counter hit Brave counter. But is it like, you know, I'm Vasaraga, I get Soul Forge. I'm Belial, I'm Seox, I'm a bunch of characters. I get a side swap, right? In that case, it might be very worthwhile for you to really heavily consider using your, using your Brave points for anything other than this. Because this is so powerful, right? This is the thing, like, before they nerfed Brave counter, this is something that a lot of people were talking about, including myself, as, like, a possible nerf for Brave counter. What they ended up doing was making it minus on block instead of plus on block, which I think I'd like more as a change. I'll tell you, I think it's not as big of a change to the power level as making this not hard knockdown anymore would be. I think this is a stronger thing about Brave counter. But what it is it's a much more interactive nerf to Brave counter, right? It's a nerf to Brave counter, making it -2 on block. If you don't know, campfire stories back in my day, right? If you block the Brave counter like this, you will be +6, right? How can you block BC if BC only happens when you're attacking? Because BC has a startup to it, right? You'll notice here, 10 frame startup on BC. So most characters, everyone in the video game except for exactly Lancelot, sorry Lancelot, very unfortunate review, if they close L and immediately down back, they will recover in time to block a Brave counter on their close L, right? This is a universal thing for the whole cast, except Lancelot. Sorry, Lancelot, they just don't like you very much. His 5L is garbage. But yeah, so what this used to be in this situation, instead of Vasaraga being -2 and Gallium being +2, it used to be that Vasaraga would be +2, right? Or +6, sorry. Vasaraga will be +6 when his Brave counter got blocked, and Gallium will be -6. So it'll be his turn, straight up, right? So they nerfed this, and I wasn't able to bait BC with close L block as Matera either. Oh, maybe Matera and Fairy as well. I'm actually not sure. Let me try, because Matera and Fairy do also have really bad close Ls, right? Fairy and Matera have the exact same close L. They have 2 more frames of recovery than everyone else. But I don't know, actually. Like, if I... actually, sorry, let me get Voss. Everyone's BC is universal, but... all BC was truly a mechanic in this game? Yeah. Let me check real quick. Can Fairy not... She can't? That's tough. Can she do it with 2L, maybe? I doubt it, right? No, yeah. I guess, yeah, Fairy and Matera can't either. That's true. I guess that they more so they kind of stay out of your BC range, right? Yeah, because very notably, Fairy and Matera also have, like you'll notice, their Closel has 8 frames of recovery on it, right? Compared to the average Closel, which has 6, right? 6 frames of recovery. Genji and ARM can't either? Really? I guess Genji and ARM does a really shit 5L. But yeah, so I'm learning. I thought it was only Lancelot is even worse. So okay, let's go to the Dust Loop, right? We can just take a look at this. We can figure out. We're pulling up Dust Loop. Right. So Lancelot. If we look at Lancelot, right? The reason Lancelot can't do this. Remember, Brave counter is a 10 frame startup. So if you hit on your first active frame, right? He has to wait 1, 2, and then 9 frames before he can block, right? He has to wait 1, 2, and then 9 frames before he can block. So that's 11 frames. BC starts up in 10. So there's literally no world in which he can 5L down back and be safe, right? If you look at a startup, doesn't matter for this. It's only active frames and recovery frames, basically, right? And even active frames, you can kind of finagle them a little bit because theoretically you could meaty and hit later, right? Even then, if Lancelot hits on the second active frame of his Closel, right? Then he has to wait 1 active frame, 9 recovery frames, 10 frames. He can block on the 11th frame, and that's when the BC gets him, right? But if we look at Fairy, for example, right? Fairy is 3 plus 8 as well. I believe if Fairy meaties her Closel, right? If Fairy meaties her Closel, I think it's possible for her to do. If she hits on the first active frame, then it's 1, 2, 3 plus 8, 11 frames of recovery. She can't block. But I believe if she hits on the very last frame here, then it's 1, 8, 9 frames. So I think if Fairy meaties her Closel enough, she actually can do this on a wake up, right? But you can't just walk up and do it. For Lancelot, it's impossible. There is no configuration of buttons where Lancelot can do it, right? Whereas Fairy can, and Fairy and Matera, don't worry about this, we're getting really under the hood right now, but Fairy and Matera also, as far as we are aware from our testing, I say we, because I think it was my Zisco who did a lot of this testing and kind of passed it on to me. But Fairy and Matera are not subject to the cannot block 1 frame after the end of the recovery on their Closels, so it really is only 9 frames here for her, right? So I think she would actually be able to block if she fully meated. Probably same thing with Matera, probably a similar thing with Genji and ARM, if I had to guess as well. Yes, right? Genji and ARM would have to hit on the 2nd frame, right? She'd have to hit on the 2nd frame of her 5L to do it, because again, no, I think actually maybe the 3rd frame, because it will be 1 plus 7 plus the 1 frame after a 5L where you can't block, and then she would get it, right? So Narmaya can do it too, but not all the time. So the only character, I was correct, but I have to amend my statement. The only character who under no circumstances can ever manufacture a situation where they can 5L and block in time is Lancelot, right? Yeah, Versuja is not subject to this cancel penalty either, right? Versuja has a very similar thing as well, where Versuja, I guess because her lights don't cancel into each other, I'm not sure why. But again, Versuja does not have this thing where 1 frame after the recovery of her lights, her 5L, this is the only thing that applies to 5Ls and Closels, by the way. She doesn't have this thing where 1 frame after the recovery ends, she can't block. So as long as Versuja gets it on her 2nd active frame, right? 1, 2, and then 7, that's 9 frames, she can block on the 10th, that's when BC would hit her. So she just has to meaty it slightly, and then she goes, right? Yeah, swapping stance in Genji during 5L does do weird things to her recovery, yeah. I don't know what it is with Narm, but there is like a little bug there. I've heard enough nerf Lancelot. Yeah, Lance 5L is the worst button in the video game.